Good afternoon, students. So previously we finished the chapter sulfur, sulfuric acid and fertilizer technology in our subject UPCT, that is unit processes in chemical technology. Next unit will be starting this chloralkali industries, in which we will see main three products, that is sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate and chlorine, as well as caustic soda, that is NaOH, sodium hydroxide. So today the product or the manufacturing of soda ash we will be discussing. We will discuss and understand the process flow diagram of soda ash. Before that, this is a little introduction about chloralkali industries. These chemicals, the chloralkali chemicals, have widespread distribution in industry, just like sulfuric and sulfur industry. It is worthy of study because of the following achievements. So they have good achievements in quarries and transports vast quantities of limestone. So India is a good has large quantities of limestone transported, extracts NaCl mineral from open water brine or deep wells, processes products to exceptional purity, operates 100% indigenously, and works on economic tightrope shipping products such as low priced soda ash. Now sodium carbonate, commonly known as soda ash, its chemical formula is Na2CO3. These are the properties of sodium carbonate. Molecular weight is 106 gram per mole. Melting point is 851 degrees Celsius temperature, and boiling point, it does not boil, it decomposes, so it is again soluble in water. And next is the grades in which these are the grades in which we can obtain the final product. 99% sodium carbonate as light and dense grades of granular product, so in granular form, and also washing soda in hydrous form. When we obtain this product Na2CO3 and 10H2O, that is hydrous form, then this works as washing soda. Further, this is the consumption pattern of soda ash in US and then in India. So in US, if we see, 17% of the total is used in chemical manufacturing. Next is for soaps and detergents, pulp and paper for desulfurization, and maximum amount, that is 27%, is exported out of the US. And below that we have consumption pattern or breakdown of consumption in India as of 1995. Maximum we use as washing soda, that is maximum we convert into hydrous form. Not convert, we keep it in hydrous form only, we do not dry it. And then 40% of it 40% of that is we use in soaps and detergents for washing. Next, for 18% in production of glass, sodium silicate 15%, chemical industry 12%, miscellaneous 6%. So this is the consumption of soda ash in our country. Then comes the method of production. So these are the three methods of soda ash manufacturing: Solvay process, dual process, natural soda ash from deposits. Process we will be discussing today is Solvay process. Solvay process or ammonia soda process. So a number of chemical reactions are taking place during the process, and we will understand the process description from flow sheet. Raw materials are salt, coal and limestone. These are the quantities of raw materials required, and here is the flow sheet of soda ash manufacturing by Solvay process. So we can see along with these raw materials salt, coal and limestone, we also use salt in the form of brine. Salt is here, it is there. Salt is used as brine pumped from deep wells, that we use as salt raw material, that is mentioned. So this discovery of Solvay process was done in 1869, and after that this has emerged, or is still one of the most commonly used process for manufacturing sodium carbonate. So before using this salt brine, it is purified in a wash towers. A number of wash towers, few wash towers are placed, and salt brine is purified by passing from these series of wash towers. And hard salts, that is calcium and magnesium salts, are removed in this process. Then the purified brine, that is free from hard salts, purified brine is pumped into ammonia absorption tower. This, from top left, purified brine solution is entering the pump, and it is being pumped into ammonia absorber tower. Here it dissolves the NH3, and this is exothermic reaction, so heat is also liberated, and some amount of carbon dioxide dissolves in this tower. Now ammoniated partially carbonated brine is cooled to 30 degrees Celsius and then pumped to carbonating tower. So over here it gets cooled, and then it is pumped to this carbonating tower following this path. Then this. Now the main purpose of carbonating tower here is cleaning, and in order to fasten this process, weak CO2 gas is admitted at the bottom of the tower. These both ammoniation tower and carbonating tower are about 22 to 25 meter in height, and the temperature at the specifically for carbonating tower, the temperature at top and bottom, that is at ends, is around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, whereas the temperature in middle is 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. Now this carbonation towers, gradually bicarbonate cakes start to form on the start to deposit on the surfaces. Now liquor from this tower, liquor from carbonating tower is passed through a series of 4 to 5 remaining towers in production line. So after this carbonating tower, again there are a series of towers, and the liquor is passed through those towers. Here every tower can be used for 3 days before it is emptied or stopped its operation for cleaning. So every third day tower will have to stop the operation for cleaning purposes. So because of that, a number of towers are kept in series, such that the production line is not affected, or the time is not wasted in cleaning. So after 3 days it goes into cleaning for 12 hours, and then it is again operating. Then other towers are stopped operating and cleaning. And here next we can see lime is also being fed directly to the carbonating tower from here. Lime is being fed, and it goes here, and it is entering the carbonating tower. And here in make towers where reaction F, where is reaction F? Yes, these reactions are taking place. Reaction F, G and H are the reaction that those are taking place in this make towers here in carbonating tower. Now after this, the solids from this filter, we see that from carbonating tower the liquor and other products are entering this rotary press filter at the right here. Rotary press filter is there. After this, the solid from the rotary filter are taken to calciner and calcinated at about 200 degrees Celsius. And this calciner is again gas fired. Flue gases are, we can see fuel and air is medium used for heating, so flue gases are obtained and taken out from top of the calciner. And the average production with this plant would be around 100 tons of finished soda ash. After being calcinated, it is cooled, it is passed through a water cooler and soda ash is obtained. Now the remaining part of the liquor, which is not which doesn't go to rotary press filter, or after it goes to rotary press filter but it is not taken to calciner, so that unreacted ammonia goes to ammonia stills, free ammonia still and combined ammonia still. We can see the two ammonia towers over here. This is ammonia recovery cycle now. So this after rotary press, this is ammonia. The unreacted ammonia first enters the first free NH3 still, and it is heated by it is distilled using steam heated reboiler. Now the bottoms containing combined ammonia is then fed to the second still, combined still. From both these ammonia stills, the filtrate is then again sent to carbonating tower after this reactions in free NH3 still and combined NH3 still. The reaction taking place in combined ammonia still is reaction J from the chemical reaction, this last reaction. Again, this is exothermic reaction, and some amount from combined NH3, some amount of ClCl2 impurities are taken out of the system. Also from calciner also recycled ammonia is fed to carbonating tower as recycle stream, and the product is light soda ash. And in order to get the denser grade as required in glass industry, water is milled in to form a monohydrate and mixture is again calcinated, and then the soda ash obtained is of denser grade. So this is a Solvay process for manufacturing soda ash, sodium carbonate or washing soda. This is a detailed process description of the above flow sheet. Now, major engineering problems of this process. I think there is a slide or photo missing here. It's no problem. We'll discuss major engineering problems. First one is development of suitable calcining equipment. So calcination is an important part, as we saw in this flow sheet. It also decides the grade, or if you want to change the grade of the product, then calcination plays important part. So the calcination kiln must be equipped with heavy scraper chain, and wet filter cake should mix with dry products, and caking should be avoided. So that is to be kept in mind, that calciner doesn't create any problem and works efficiently. Second is economics of the tower design. So both this tower designing economics is to be kept in mind, and depending on the yield, the tower height, pressure and temperature should be optimized. Third is ammonia recovery. Here is the third point, ammonia recovery. So ammonia inventory costs 4-5 times that of sodium carbonate inventory. So the production cost of ammonia that we use as not raw material, but that we are obtaining here, is costlier than sodium carbonate itself. So we should keep in mind that minimum loss of ammonia is there. So losses must be kept low. Fourth is plant modernization. 3 Solvay plants were built prior to 1947 in India, and still more or less same processes are used and same plants are being used. So they should be modernized, substituting better materials of construction. So better material of construction, better alloys can be used in use of auto control at the plant modernization problems. Last is water waste disposal. So CaCl2 and NaCl liquor are harmful waste, and its disposal should be done properly as per the standards of our country. This was soda ash by Solvay process and its manufacturing process flow diagram and engineering problems.